Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2018. The album, Dad AF. Rock on, gold dust woman. Alright, let's get right into this video. So, another highly requested video, and it's only been up for like an hour and a half at this point. I think it's been up actually 2 hours maybe. And the video is Manny Mua'S, My Wake Up Call. So, if you guys haven't been following the videos of Manny, he, put out an apology video about a month ago, then he came back a couple days ago, and he did another video, and I did commentary on that, and, then today, because he had said in the other video that he was going to he had his editor fly in, and that his editor had kind of like filmed behind the scenes with him for a week and asked him a lot of questions that people were wanting to know on social media. So he was going to put this film together, and people were saying, oh, he's trying to pull a Shane Dawson series, he's trying to do this, which was interesting because he even addressed that in this video. And so then today, he kind of fed it out last night, and he said he was going to put it out. And so today he put out My Wake Up Call. It currently has 90,000 views, and it has 7.5 thousand likes and 1.5 thousand dislikes. And so when I saw that, I was kind of like, so a lot of people are not liking this video. And it was interesting because I went into the comments, and I'm going to talk about the comments in just a second, but I went into the comments, and at first it was like just glowing comment, glowing comment, glowing comment. And I was like, people are either going to accuse him that he's deleting comments because they're all good, or is everybody loving it and this 1.5 thousand aren't leaving any comments? And then I got down about 20 comments, and it became rather scathing. People were leaving a lot of comments about it being a PR stunt, that he was finished, that it was just done, that he should never put the video out, criticizing a lot of different things about the video, a lot of different things that were in the video, on and on and on. So let's talk about the video. The video is 33 minutes long. I watched the whole thing. I have to say, I was highly intrigued by this video. And I said the other day that I was going to watch it, that I was interested in watching it. I think one of the things I was thinking while I was watching this was that it would have been interesting to see a video of like Manny behind the scenes long before all of this happened. Because he's been somebody that I've been intrigued by for a long time. And I've made countless videos about it, which I'm going to address in just a second. And it was interesting watching this. And also, we had seen his dad in a video, when they talked about their relationship, but his mom's never been on his channel before, and to see her kind of talk about her son, and to hear him talk about his world and the social media thing. And one of the things I thought was interesting was that his editor really did ask kind of the questions most of the questions that people really wanted to know. I mean, he only really answered 5 or 6 questions, but they were pretty big questions that people wanted to know, He talked about the friendships, he talked about drama channels, he talked about the apology video, he talked about all this kind of stuff. So the whole thing kind of starts off, and it talks about where his mental state was a month ago. And he talked in there about, and I want to address this in just a second, but he went in there and he talked about the fact that he was self-medicating and blah, 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 whatever, and that he really wasn't taking care of himself, and that he had been in the hospital, and then he got out of the hospital, and he didn't want to go back in, and so he was self-medicating. And I read a lot of comments from people saying that, when a doctor prescribes you medication and you take it, that's not self-medicating. And I don't know if people misunderstood what he was saying in the video, but I think what he was saying was, I was prescribed medication by a doctor, and probably, I'm assuming, he was taking more than he was prescribed. And I've been sober for 23 years and 10 and a half months at this point, and I can't tell you how many people I know that self-medicated themselves by doctor-prescribed medication. So it happens all the time. And, that part was really hard for me to watch. And kind of in addition to the, just dropped my phone, and kind of in addition to the comments that were coming out, I addressed this in my video the other day, that I had a very personal response to the video that he put out the other day, and it's been a long month for me. It's been just a really long month, and it's been a really hard, stressful month. And I ain't gonna victimize myself, okay? I'm a 46-year-old man. I can stand on my own two feet. And I brought on a lot of what I'm dealing with right now. I personally brought that on myself. That being said, it's still tough to deal with this shit. And my friend and I were driving around. This is my best Judy for 22 years, Tanya, that I talk about in all my videos. we were driving around the other night, and I kind of talked about it on my other video, but I didn't say it the way that she said it. And I'm going to say it today in talking about him being in this video and talking about going to the hospital, because people even criticized that in the video, right? And this whole kind of idea of keyboard warriors getting behind comments and really just saying things about people and this and that and whatever and picking people apart, I'm like, I've always kind of been baffled by that, having been on YouTube, but I'm like even more so baffled by it now. I feel like we've lost our minds, honestly. And the cruelty factor is like, you know, it's just off the charts at this point. And my friend and I were talking in regards to, you know, some other things that I had seen with other YouTubers as well as myself. And my friend said, now this is my friend that before I started making YouTube videos, she didn't know anything about YouTube. She didn't know anything about the people. Now she knows, you know, the Jeffree Stars and the Mannys and the Trisha Paytases and everybody. She watches the drama channel. She knows everything about it, right? And she said to me, she said, you know, in regards to the comments and the social media and all that kind of stuff, she said, what is it going to take? She said, is somebody going to have to kill themselves? Is that what people want? Is somebody going to have to end their life before people really understand how much they're affecting somebody by what they're saying or how they're pulling people apart? She's like, people fuck up all the time. People make mistakes all the time. That's being a human being, you know? But like this, what do people want? And she got kind of fired up in my car, and I've been thinking about that. You know, it's like, what's it going to take, I think, for people to realize the severity of what these comments and things do, even from the point of view of a drama channel. And I'm going to tell you about how I learned about that in a second. And, you know, it's a lot. And maybe it took me going through it to really realize the impact of how that feels being on the other end. Maybe that's what it took for me. I don't know. And like I've said in my last couple videos that I've done, I'm not about that anymore. Like, I cannot get on video anymore and just drag somebody. I just can't do it, okay? I don't want to get on video anymore and make somebody feel worse about themselves than they already feel. I just don't, okay? That does not make me feel very good about myself at the end of the day. You gotta leave the comment that you gotta leave. You gotta say what you gotta say. But if that makes you feel better at the end of the day because you had your 2 cents that you had to put out there in the world, that somebody's fake or somebody's phony or somebody's a horrible person or somebody put a PR stunt out there, I guess that's what you have to do. But for me, I'm not gonna do it anymore. So I watched this video with a total open mind. And that's not saying I'm not going to make drama videos. I can still make drama videos, and I can still be, you know, in between. And, you know, I've always really felt like I never dragged anybody in my videos. I always thought that I was semi-fair, and maybe I wasn't, and maybe I didn't realize that, you know? So I'm sitting here, and I'm watching this video, and it was hard for me to watch some of it, you know, and seeing his parents. I'm thinking about my own parents with this kind of stuff. You know, like my mom passed away 10 years ago. I think if she was in this position that, you know, like the mother of Manny, I think she wouldn't really know what to say. I mean, what mother isn't super protective of their own son, you know? Like, let's just be for real. And to see, you know, Manny's dad and that relationship grow over time, I think is just phenomenal. I think it's an example to dads and sons. I think it's cool to see that, you know? And I was real impressed with the video. I really liked it. I thought he addressed a lot of things, you know, right up front. The thing about the friends, like, you know, like what has happened with all the friendships, you know, maybe it was a safe answer, him saying, like, I just don't like talking about stuff publicly. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, who knows, right? But I do think that sometimes, you know, like one of the questions that kind of went through the whole video was why Manny is staying silent about a lot of stuff. And, you know, I think it's interesting. Like, I just did a review of, I just did a reaction to the Jake Paul, the last video that Shane did. And in there, he's talking about somebody stealing his channel. And Shane says, well, why didn't you ever talk about it? Like, why didn't you ever address it? And Jake says, because to defend yourself means you're just making excuses, and people don't really want to believe you anyway, so it's just like, don't even talk about it. Exactly. Don't even talk about it. You know, and I really, like, whether you like Manny, whether you like Laura, whether you like any of these people, no matter what your investment in is, at the end of the day, these are human beings that are really going through something, you know? And I don't know, I really felt for him, and it was really hard for me at the part where he talked about, and listen, I'm just a commentary channel, okay? I'm not going in here and picking apart the pieces. I'm just telling you what my commentary is watching this video as a human being. And the part where he got at, somebody asked him if he watches drama channels, and he mentioned, you know, like several channels, and then he went in there and he apologized to Karina Kaboom. you know, he went in there and he talked about what drama channels that he's watched, and he said me, and he said a couple other drama channels. He said Rich Lux and Here for the Tea and some other, Sanders Kennedy. And, you know, I started tearing up at that part. And the reason why was that when I made my video the other day, Manny reached out to me. And I'm not going to talk about what he said in there, because that's not fair to Manny. But, you know, he reached out to me and he said, I just wanted to let you know that something to the effect of, this is the only part I'm going to share, that at times your videos did, like, contribute to me being in a dark place, because, see, I never know if somebody likes me or if they don't like me. And in most of my videos that I've made about Manny, I've always said that I liked Manny, you know, that he intrigues me, that I, you know, all this kind of stuff I've said about him in there. And so I was kind of surprised by that. But then he said something that was really profound for me. And it wasn't that I was asking for it, but he gave it to me anyway. And he said, I want you to know that I forgive you, because I believe that everybody deserves a clear conscience. And it was just such like this, like, profound moment for me, you know? Like, at first I really didn't know what to make of it. And then today, like, watching the video, and it's like, when you go through something where all of these people are talking about you, and it's like, like, I get it. I get what he's saying, you know? And it's like, I think, like, at this point, he just wants to move on. He just wants to do what he wants to do. And if people want to watch him, watch him. If people don't, don't. But I thought the video was really, really good. I mean, there was one part in there, I have to tell you, like, that was really hard for me, was when his mom was talking about being a nurse and, you know, like, their jobs and, like, you know, I mean, I thought, okay, we have lost our minds that these poor people, no matter what your opinion is of them, feel like they need to get on video and defend why they're working for their son's company. Seriously, in what world, okay? How many family-owned businesses do you know where the whole family works for them? And these two people feel like they need to get on there and defend themselves? My dad, I can tell you right now, would say, no fucking way. I don't have to answer to anybody. And I thought, you know, this is really nice that they're doing this for their son. And I don't really care at this point, you know, what people think about my videos, and people want to call me a social climber and all this kind of stuff. I loved in there when Manny said, you know, he said it's two things that he said that I thought were really, really powerful. He said something to the effect of, like, everybody wants to talk about the bad, but they don't ever want to remember all the good things that I did too, you know? And I think that's so true, especially on the internet. When somebody's in the spotlight, it's like, you did all this horrible shit, right? But you don't ever want to remember the good things. And like I said in my last video, like, Manny has done a lot of really, really good things. And one of the things he said to me that he was surprised about was that so many people had commented or reached out to me and said, you know, Manny really helped me a lot, blah, 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 blah. Go read the comment sections on my videos that I used to do, Manny. You know, it's like, I can't tell you how many young men you've helped feel comfortable in their own skin to come out, even to families that weren't accepting of them. And even if you just helped one person, that's fantastic, right? So do we forget all that? Do we forget that, you know, that he blazed the trail for a lot of people? And, you know, it makes me sad that a lot of these friendships broke up. You know, it makes me sad whenever friendships break up. You know, I've lost some friendships in the last month, and I miss people, you know? I drive around late at night, and I think to myself, like, I'd love to give this person a call, but they don't want to talk to me anymore, you know? And it doesn't really matter the conditions of the friendships. It doesn't really matter what happens and how bad people are hurt and who's the worst friend and who's the better friend. It's all of it very, very sad, you know? Psh, emotions, right? Throw them out the window. But anyway, you know, that's when I start crying in a video. Everybody's like, grow the fuck up, old man. Okay, old men cry too. We got feelings too, you know? And I don't know, I just felt for him in this video. I didn't just feel for him, I felt for everybody. And I felt for everybody in the whole situation, you know? And there was something else that he said in there besides, like, the good things that, you know, that people forget the good things. It was like, you know, there was this whole kind of idea of that, like, you know, people get, like, one idea of the story and they think it's the truth and all that kind of stuff. It's like, it's very, very true. And if you don't talk about it, you know, people want to know, like, well, what is it? What is it? What is it? And I think social media has got to this point where it's, like, demanding of people to talk about things. And just because I'm getting on this video and I'm saying this about Manny, I want to make this very, very clear, okay? It doesn't mean that I don't still love watching Jeffree Star and I'm not intrigued by him. You know, it doesn't mean that I don't like Nikki Tutorials or James Charles or anybody else. I like watching all of them. And I think that's the thing is, can't we watch who we want to watch? And it's like at some point, like when does this all have to end? You know, I was really surprised kind of the severity of the comments when I went in there, of really truly how harsh they are. And, you know, and it's kind of, you know, I received some of that too. And I thought to myself, and I thought this to myself in the last month, wow, like there's some true hate out there, you know? And I don't know for you. You got to do, like I said, what you got to do. But for me, if my heart is filled with that much hate, that I am affecting somebody negatively, I don't want to be a part of that. I just don't, you know? And I don't want to be any kind of part of bringing somebody down. Does that mean that I'm still going to talk about his next palette release? Absolutely. Does that mean that if he does something, I'm going to talk about it? Yeah, sure. But from a more fair stance, probably. Because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I don't want to make anybody feel worse about themselves than they already feel. And I don't care if they have 15 million subscribers, and I don't care if they have 300 million subscribers. Months ago, somebody asked me in a Q&A, did I ever think that Manny and Jeffree would be friends again? And I said, you know, down the road, I kind of think that maybe they will. I don't know. You know, like, healing is a long, long process. Healing between friendships, and like, you know, he said in the video, we still don't really ever know what happened between that friendship, and I don't know that I think it's really any of our business. And I've said that before anybody says, well, you didn't used to say that. Yep, I've said that in almost every one of my videos. I've said it's not really any of our business. You know, but at this point, like, I think down the road, maybe, but I think, like, you know, I had a friendship of mine when I was like 20 years old. It took us 20 years to reconnect again. Who knows what's going to happen down the road? People grow, people change, people grow up, people change up, you know? And maybe people don't want to be friends with each other anymore. That's the other thing. But at some point, it's like, with all of this going on, it's like, you know, like I was going to make a whole video about Toddy today because Toddy responded to something on Instagram or Twitter last night about closing off her comment section. She's like, you know, when you come for me on this and you come for me on that, you're talking about my family and my marriage and all this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, it's just a palette. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, because I agree, you know? And I think to some degree, like, and I think we've lost our minds with all of this, with just all of the anger and the hatred on social media. And, you know, it takes a toll on somebody. It really, really does. And for me, I just don't want to be part of that anymore. I was real impressed with this video. I'd like to see more videos like this from Manny. I'd like to see more videos like this, and I don't care if it's Shane Dawson-y. Listen, okay? Casey Neistat years ago did that video of going around the world in 48 hours, and all we saw for the next 3 or 4 years was Casey Neistat imitations, okay? I don't care if we see a whole bunch of behind-the-scenes docudramas like Shane Dawson. So what? Shane Dawson's setting the trend, and he's doing a pretty good job with it, and I'm impressed, okay? But that doesn't mean that other people can't do these kind of documentary videos about themselves. I like it. I think it's enjoyable. I think it's, you know, interesting and fun to see behind somebody's life and what's really going on. Maybe we would be a little bit more kind. Maybe we would be a little bit more compassionate. Maybe that's the PR stunt behind all of it, you know? But I just don't think so. Maybe we would understand these people a little bit better if we did see what really goes on behind the scenes and what really makes them tick. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. And like I said, I'm just a commentary channel. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Try to be kind, you guys, in the comment section. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.